In this problem, we are asked to graph two functions on the same coordinate plane, and there is a special relationship between these two functions because our f of x is the exponential function and the g of x is a logarithmic function, and these two are inverses. So keep that in mind as you're doing the graph. So I'm going to start with the exponential, and if you think about what the exponential function looks like, we know that it goes through the point 0, 1, and it comes something like that. So we know that is its general shape. So we're going to plot points for f of x equals 2 to the x, and I'm going to use negative 1, 0, and 1. If x is negative 1, then we have 2 raised to the negative 1 power, and remember, a negative exponent reciprocates that base, so it turns it into a fraction. So 2 raised to the negative 1 is the same as 1/2. So be sure you review those rules of exponents, especially those negative exponents. If x is 0, then we have 2 to the 0, and we know that's going to be 1. All exponential functions go through the point 0, 1, because anything raised to the 0 power will be 1. And if x is 1, then we have 2 to the first power, and that gives us 2. So now we have some points to graph. When x is negative 1, our y is 1/2, so about there. When x is 0, our y is 1. And when x is 1, our y is 2. So we know what our general shape is. Dotting these in, connecting our dots, we know that it goes like that, and this is an asymptote, horizontal asymptote, so it looks like that. Now, remember that we're talking about inverses, and when we have functions that are inverses of each other, they swap their domains and ranges. So that means for my log function, I'm going to have x values and g of x values, and they are going to be the reverses of what I had for its inverse. So my x coordinates become my y coordinates, the y coordinates become the x coordinates. So now let's graph the logarithmic function. Remember, it's an inverse. So an inverse is going to have an oblique line of symmetry, which is y equals x, and we'll check that when we get done. So when x is 1/2, g of x is negative 1, about there. When x is 1, y is 0, and we know that the exponential functions always go through the point 0, 1, and the logarithmic functions always go through the point 1, 0. And when x is 2, this is 1. So it looks like this. Should have been a little gentler curve through here. And then if we go in and put that line of symmetry, let me put it in a different color here. And I'm sorry I don't have my straight edge with me here, but this is the line y equals x, and this is just a sketch here. So if you put this in Desmos, you'll see that those are flipped over that symmetry line there of y equals x. So anytime you have inverses, they will be symmetrical to that oblique line there, y equals x.